What is inside a data center? A data center is not just made up of IT infrastructure. There are a lot of other resources or support facilities required for keeping our services running. So let's see this picture. Obviously, it is not an exhaustive list, but it gives you information that okay, first of all, you have everything hosted into a concrete and steel construction. That is your physical data center, the outer boundary associated, or all the component will be housed in it. There would be a lot of heat generated by the servers, so that's heat need to be compensated for. So we may have heat exchangers located on the roof. They release the hot air from inside the building, so that will happen. There would be server room, which is heart of your data center, in which all your required equipment of IT is hosted. You may have a power supply which is coming from a live power station, but you may also need a backup generator stations, so that in case there is an outage in power, you may be able to still sustain your application. And for a specific tier of data center, you may want to have multiple power sources also coming from different companies, so that can be a requirement. So that is also something which has been taken care. Then you may be needing some UPS unit. They will ensure that if power goes out from all the supplies available, your generator kicks in, but till that time you may have to keep your applications running and without any reboot and all. And that's where you may have UPS, uninterrupted power supply units. Air conditioning would be required in huge areas, so that would be also done. You may have 24 by 7 cooling units running. You may also be having people who monitor these data centers for anomalies or for attacks, not the physical one hopefully, but at least for the cyber attack, network equipment, racking, stacking server. And obviously physical security is required at the entrance and other perimeter layers. And then you would have networking racks by which you can access application and connect to other networks if the need be. So this is what would be inside a data center. Again, you could go ahead into more detail in case needed. Like here would be within on the floor, as we call it in a data center. On the floor you would have servers. There would be administration happening on those servers. There would be some server hardware packing and racking and stacking would happen. Maintenance would be required. There is physical component which may wear and tear, and that's why you may need it. Maybe there would be airflow needs to be controlled. Then we may have our cooling equipment. Then we would have our generators associated. Then we may have flooding system to ensure things work. Maintenance would happen. Power supplies would be there. Your heating and ventilation systems will be there. So all these will make up what is inside a data center. Now, all these equipment can be divided into two categories. One of the category which we will discuss is your IT infrastructure. So all your server, storage and network, these are the core component. Obviously there can be additional services associated with it, but most commonly this is what you need into a data center's IT infrastructure. You would need server, you would need storage, and you would need networking. And to run these server, storage and networking equipment uninterrupted, you would need support infrastructure, and that support infrastructure will be a power subsystem, UPS supply, backup generators, cooling equipment, fire suppression system, security system. All this put together is what creates your data center. Hope this thing is clear. When you go further inside a data center, you may find that they arrange things in a way that it is efficiently running. Like one simple example here is like this is a server rack, and most of the server have exhaust of hot air at the back. So they would align the racks in a way that hot aisle is here. So here they would have extraction facility for the hot air, and in the front side where people may be walking and connecting and working on the server, that time they may be having a cool air here this side. So this is a hot aisle, sorry, this is a hot aisle here, and this is a cold aisle on which there is no extract, no hot air is coming up. So this is a very common approach which they follow, ensuring that they create a hot aisle and cold aisle kind of concept. Plus this floor, if you see here, is looks like a elevated floor, and that is true. This ensure that all your wiring and other connectivity equipment can go from down the floor, and maybe air can also circulate from there. So like here, if you see, this is a of elevated floor, and inside it all the cable and connectivity would be going through. Plus you could see these all things where you may have your cold air coming in, ensuring that equipment's getting properly cooled. So this is how they will arrange, and they are like marvel of infrastructure. They are not just like a small building just been created. A lot of technologies and standard they have to follow in case they want to get certified as a specific tier of data center. So this is on a very high level what happens within a data center. Now, we will focus on the IT infrastructure component, not on the support infrastructure. There are people who are whole life or whole career is revolving around the support infrastructure, so there can be a lot of training for them, but we will focus on this IT infrastructure because that would be fundamentally required for us to know for our cloud journey. So we'll focus on server, storage and networking. So join me into next section where we'll be focusing on servers and how we can use data center to run our application. Thank you.